your body stops producing insulin on its own.
She said when your body starts producing insulin. Okay. Anyone else want to crack?
I don't want to say I'm juvenile.
No, say it.
I never knew the terms, but growing up, I always equated diabetes to someone who ate too much sugar.
Okay.
My dad's a diabetic. I remember my mom finding candy in the nightstand and little stuff like that around the sugar. I just remember sugar being a focus. They can't have sugar.
Okay. Anyone else want to know?
Being overweight.
Okay, being overweight. Okay. Anybody else?
No, I think I tend to think that your body doesn't produce enough insulin. Like when you take in the sugar, the insulin, I think, is meant to balance that out, like to become the buffer for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if your body isn't producing enough, then you have like excess glucose in your body, excess sugar in your body.
Okay. How about you?
All of that.
All of that, okay.
And there's a difference from 1 and 2.
Yes.
1 is like you're born with 1.
Well, right.
Type
Yes.
1.
That's
Yes.
the difference between
Yeah.
That's type 1 diabetes.
And hereditary, I think 2 genes have
Okay.
a lot with that.
What were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to clarify your question to make sure I'm correct. You said what causes diabetes?
Yes.
What is diabetes?
What causes diabetes?
I didn't answer it. I didn't.
What causes?
Yeah.
Very good. So type 1 diabetes is when your body doesn't make enough insulin, the pancreas. Okay. Type 2 diabetes is a diet disease.
Say it again.
It's a diet. It's food related. Yeah. So most of us aren't born. I don't know of anyone that's born with type 2 diabetes. Type 2. Okay. Is it genetics? That's a good question.
I think so.
Think it's genetics?
Yep, my first one in my family that I know of was my oldest nephew, and he was only 21. He died. He was a football player, and because of his position, he had to put on weight.
Right.
And he was the first one diagnosed.
Okay.
And then I was diagnosed in 2010.
Okay.
And I think it was a combination of always eating a lot of sugar, stress. I had a job that was very stressful, and my dieting, back and forth dieting, trying all those different crazy diets, including Slim Fast, and of course that has a lot of sugar in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then my brother was diagnosed. Again, he put on a lot of weight. His diet.
Right. What's the key word?
The
Diet.
the eating the things that, and growing up, my mom used to ask me why I always added a lot of sugar to my cereal that was already sweet.
Everybody put.
I
know not everybody, but you're right. That is definitely I don't know, traditional. Like I always put sugar on.
Sugar in the milk.
My family we put sugar on strawberries. Like we put sugar on.
So what's really hereditary?
The diet.
Diet, habits, things that we pass down, behavior. Exactly. That's what's hereditary. And not to say that, there aren't traces of things, but our behavior can overrule, a lot of genetic things that we may assume to be passed down. And so when we think about diabetes, I remember my uncle told me this one day. He's a doctor here in Philadelphia. He said diabetes is a food disease. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, you guys know Dr. Burton? Have you heard of Dr. Burton?
I just saw him yesterday.
Yeah, that's my uncle. Yeah, and this was like years ago before I even got deep into this stuff. And he was like, yeah, diabetes is a food disease. He's very practical and like straight to the point with stuff. And so, here's why it's a food disease, and here's what happens. It's not about insulin, okay? Insulin is a byproduct of what happens, okay? What happens is our diet, right, which is the primary reason, we consume too much sugar in our diet, right? Too much sugar. Not too much fat, not too much protein, but too much sugar. That's why diabetes skyrocketed around 1980, because they said increase your sugar intake and make whole grains and whole wheat utilizing the food pyramid was at the base of the food pyramid. A lot of like pasta, bread, whole wheat, whole grain, oats, all this stuff, genetically modified, highly refined foods, okay? So what happens is this. Over the years, repeating Thanksgiving and Christmas over and over and over again, right? And Easter and all those foods, cultural, social. And I'm gonna teach you how to eat these things, but still be victorious, okay? But there's a method that you have to, there's a discipline that you must have before you do, okay? Now, because we're gonna move along real quick. What happens is, but you gotta understand this concept to understand why keto works, okay? Follow me on the story. You consume sugar, okay? You consume sugar. And when you eat sugar, the sugar naturally is ingested, gets into the bloodstream, insulin comes, moves it out of the bloodstream, everything works perfectly, right? Everything's working perfectly, okay? So what happens over time, when we continue to eat a lot of sugar, what happens is sugar typically, okay, it's stored, right? Once it comes out of the bloodstream, it goes to the, anybody know? It goes to the liver, okay? It goes into the liver, okay? Over the years, if we're constantly eating sugar, that process is happening. Insulin comes, opens up the doors, right? Opens up these doors, sugar can go through into the cells of the liver, boom, nothing's wrong. Boom, we're young, eating sugar, I'm not getting fat, I'm not getting overweight, I'm young. Now, what was happening is this, at a certain point in time, your liver says, I can't hold any more sugar. So what happens is this, it's not that your pancreas stopped making insulin. What happens is the insulin can't put the sugar in the cells of the liver because it's already filled up.
Is that what they call insulin resistant?
Yes, it's already filled up. It can't take in anymore. So what happens is insulin resistance, think about it this way. Now, the cell says, listen, we can't put any more sugar in. We're gonna put up a door, a steel door, and resist insulin from working. Because you're gonna keep putting sugar in. So what's insulin do? Insulin says, okay, you wanna play that way? I'm gonna go get my goons, my backup fellas, all my boys, and we're gonna really show this, and we're gonna break that door down. We're gonna push more sugar into the liver, right? Now this happens before you're diabetic. That's why when people are pre-diabetic or gaining weight, where do you think they gain it? Right here. Why? Because as the sugar is being packed into the liver has to export that sugar out. So I need to get rid of sugar, so what does it do? Is the liver does something called de novo lipogenesis. That's creating fat to get that sugar out. And now you have what is called a fatty liver, okay? So now you have a fatty liver, and now that fat is exported through the bloodstream. Now you have a fatty pancreas. Now you have all this, what is called ectopic fat, intra-organic fat on the organs, making your belly big, okay? And now fat is now exported all throughout the body, hence it's called diabesity. They both are related, obesity and diabetes. It's because of this phenomenon that's happening within the organs. And so how do you combat this? You have to stop the sugar and you have to get the fat off the organs. That's the only way to do it, is you have to get the fat off the organs. If the fat remains on the organs, then you will not rid yourself of diabetes. Okay? And so the sugar stays high in the blood. And that's finally when you're diagnosed, oh, your blood sugar is high. But you've been on this trail for years, for a decade on this trail. And then at a point, the body's like, I can't get any insulin. I can't get any sugar in the liver. So this is going to sit in the bloodstream. And that's when people's urine is sweet and all that other kind of stuff. And they can become real thirsty and all that. It's just because the blood, the insulin, the liver is too packed. It can't push it in anymore. And now what do? They put you on insulin, right? To do what? Push that sugar, jam it through the walls of the cells. But guess what's happening? Now get this. Some people say diabetes is a disease of high sugar in the bloodstream, right? If my blood sugar is high, I got diabetes, correct? So why are you still diabetic when they give you insulin and your blood sugar falls? Think about it. Why are you still diabetic then, doc? If my insulin is if you give me insulin, whatever units, my sugar falls, why are you still calling me diabetic if it's a high sugar disease? That means I have it now, I don't have it now, I have it, I'm back and forth. No, what happens is this. When people get on insulin, why do they progressively get worse?
Well, from the way you just described all that, you're overtaxing your liver. It's pretty much
Exactly.
doesn't function. It's not.
The traditional medical standard of addressing diabetes is totally ass backwards. Why do you give them insulin to push more sugar into the cells? And guess where the sugar goes? Over years, people on insulin. It goes into the eyes.
That's why they get the line.
Yes. It goes into the nerves, giving them what? Neuropathy.
And they have to lose stuff.
That's what happens. The sugar becomes, it starts to rot. It becomes to decay the body, and that's where diabetics have amputees, poor circulation, heart disease, kidney function declines, because the insulin has to push it somewhere. Where does it go? Think about it. If my sugar is high and you're giving me insulin to lower my sugar, where is the sugar going? It's not dissipating in the air. It's not just vanishing. It's not a magic trick. It's going into the cells of the organs within the body. And so when they say, well, diabetes is a progressive disease, it's not if you do it the right, if you address it the right way, but it's progressive if I stay in your care, Dr. Jones.
Yep. Yep.
It's progressive if I stay in your care.
My doctor
dad
got mad
did
at
the same
me.
thing. He went on plant-based and was eating bok choy or something like that for his blood pressure, and he lost all his weight, and he went from the insulin to a pill, and now he barely have to take the pill
My doctor,
with all the weight loss and his food and stuff.
Right.
my doctor kind of got, her attitude towards me totally changed. Because I didn't have, the other doctor
'Cause
took
you
me
lost
off
the
all
weight.
that stuff and I lost the weight. My A1C went from 8.7 to 5. And she's
wonderful.
like, whatever you're doing, it's working. I wanted to say, you're a doctor. Why did
you
I
know?
have to
Whatever.
go to somebody else?
Exactly.
Her whole attitude, every time I went, I'm not going back to her anymore.
Good.
But every
Good
time
for
I
you.
went back to her, it's like her attitude had just changed with me.
Yeah.
She wasn't the same with me
Yeah, she
anymore.
felt some
So I went from taking like almost 10 different pills. I would look at my cabinet and I'm like, how the hell is this happening? I'm not eating differently, but my A1C kept going up. And there was the one pill that I learned about that was doing it. Like during the day at work, I would feel so sick. My blood sugar would drop to almost, I should not be here. I would have to go sit in my car and lay down and then go back and drink soda
More soda, yep.
to bring or orange juice to bring my sugar up because it was so low. And I couldn't take it anymore. She kept threatening to put me on something else. And I'm like, oh, I can't let her do this. That's why I went to this other doctor and lo and behold,
Thank goodness for you
I said,
that they gave you that.
I can't.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, this is happening all throughout our country, and throughout the world. We're just being misinformed, and that's because they don't teach people or doctors to do that. They don't teach doctors to cure people or heal people. They teach them to string them along through their sickness and disease, give them meds until they die. That's what they do. That's what they're there for. Okay? So benefits of keto. Okay, so again, the main issue was epilepsy. That's the seizure condition that keto was really known for. But heart disease, The ketogenic diet improves risk factors like body fat, HDL, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and gluten, blood sugar. And so HDL is a major marker. You want to make sure that HDL goes up. Okay, that's the major thing. Cholesterol, a lot of people have issues with cholesterol, not like a physical issue, but like a psychological issue. Like I don't want to do keto because high cholesterol issues. Well, cholesterol is never really never the problem. It's always at the scene of the crime, but always blamed for it. But cholesterol is not really the problem, right? The only part cholesterol that might be a problem is if you have it is two particles, part A and part B. Do I know this? Okay, go back to your doctor next time you go. Say, listen, doc, give me a particle B test and a particle A test. I don't know how much your insurance might cost of that, but it's a separate test to see what particle, high cholesterol, which LDL, that you have.
Can you say that again?
Particle A and particle B. Yeah. Right. So get it right. So you get a particle test to see if I have more particle B versus A. Oh. LDL, right? LDL cholesterol is, termed to be the bad guy, and HDL is the good guy. But there's two parts of LDL. Particle A is not a bad LDL. The cholesterol is like fluffy, big molecules. Particle B are like tiny beads, right? That's the problematic LDL. And so if you have a high cholesterol, you don't know what it is. Oh, you have a high cholesterol, your LDL is over 100. So get on Lipitor, right? Get on this drug, that drug. But you want to make sure that your LDLs are high. That's the thing. And that's where a keto diet, utilizing good healthy fats, will help increase your HDL. Okay, cancer. The diet is currently being used to treat several types of cancers to slow tumor growth. What do tumors need to grow? Sugar. So when you remove the sugar, you decrease the growth. Okay? Alzheimer's disease. Okay? It helps to slow the progression of that. Epilepsy. Parkinson's disease. It helps to reduce symptoms of that. Polycystic ovary syndrome is shown to reduce. See, and what happens with that? Again, a lot of things that we focus on, or should focus on, is hormones. A lot of diseases are caused by insulin, high levels of insulin. Okay, and so if sugar spikes insulin, then removing sugar keeps insulin what? Low. Okay, so you have a situation where a lot of us have insulin toxicity because we're always eating, always spiking insulin. Okay, so that's one of the things with polycystic ovary syndrome. Brain injuries helps with that, and acne. Okay, so there are several benefits of, especially neurological benefits of the keto diet. Now, foods to avoid: sugary foods, sodas, fruits, smoothies, cake, ice cream, candies, and etc. The list can go on and on and on, much longer than this pamphlet here. Grains and starches, okay? Wheat-based products, rice, pasta, cereal. Now, excuse me, the thing is about this, these are foods to avoid if you're going to be in ketosis, okay? These things can knock you out of ketosis. Not to say that you should never eat these again, okay? Let's be realistic, right? Really. There are some things I eat on this list, but I'm the God of those things. They're not the God of me. See, I'm the God of those things, and that's what I want to teach you guys, how to become the God of the foods that you love, so you don't become a slave to those things and cause yourself harm. Okay, that's very, 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 very key. Fruits. Wow, fruit. I mean, you can have fruit. But if you're on a journey to get somewhere, you want to leave out certain fruits like watermelon, apples, grapes, papaya, things like that, right? Those foods.
Watermelon is high glycemic.
Yes, spikes your blood sugar, yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of fruits that you want to stay away from while you're in transition, okay? That's very key to understand, transition, okay? Not forever, not for a lifetime. Beans and legumes. Okay, kidney beans, peas, lentils. Some of these beans and stuff really not meant for our digestion. You know, the best bean is the navy bean, the small northern, the white northern navy bean. That's the best bean. It has the most fiber of any bean. Root vegetables and tubers, potatoes, sweet potatoes. These are starches. They raise blood sugar, causes insulin to spike. Okay, so anything that causes insulin to spike is what you want to get away from. Okay, low fat or diet products, get away from them. If it's low fat and tastes good, it's full of sugar. Simple as that. Because you wouldn't buy it if it's low fat and was horrible. That makes no sense. Like the chemist said, well, listen, food manufacturer, food company, or the food company said, listen, we want people to buy our food. We want it to be low fat, but make it taste good. We'll chemically doctor it up. Okay, that's what they did. Some condiments and sauces, like Baby Ray's. Baby Ray's barbecue sauce is good stuff, isn't it? Oh, it's good. It's so good. Do you know why it's good? High fructose corn syrup.
I know.
Yeah.
And I got to learn to get the honey one.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup goes right to the liver, makes it fat. Doesn't raise your blood sugar, but it goes right to the liver. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
It doesn't, it's low glycemic. It doesn't raise your blood sugar, but it goes right directly to the liver, which what we are trying to fix. And that's why high blood corn syrup, right, this stuff, I hate to say it, it's so good. That's why it's so dangerous. It's in sodas, it's in breads, it's in everything, okay? Because it's cheap. It's cheap food, right? Food companies, it's cheap. And so when you go to that's why I said, our neighborhoods is a death trap. You go to these little corner stores, corn syrup in every aisle. It's a death trap, okay? So we're at war. Unhealthy fats. Limit your intake processed vegetables, oils, mayonnaise. These foods are just downright just bad. Like the vegetable oil, they got a nerve to say that's a trick. Vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is so inflammatory. It's going to give you a heart attack. Okay? Yeah, so when you mix that and high fructose corn syrup, oh man, it's a time bomb. It's a time bomb. Okay? So limit those oils, mayonnaise, etc. Mayonnaise has canola oil and all those types of bad fats. Those fats are omega-6 fats, not good fats. Okay, they're very very inflammatory. Sugar-free diet foods. Don't eat those. Okay, because aspartame and other replacement sweeteners still spike up insulin. Okay, foods to eat. Okay, foods that you can eat. All right, but there is a hierarchy of these foods, though. So it's not like you can. This is where people go wrong with keto. They just eat the wrong.
Every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's improper. Okay, but foods you can eat: meats, red meats. Okay, if you eat pork, do that. I don't eat pork. Fatty fish, eggs, salmon is one of the best. Cook it with butter. Cook salmon with some butter, or olive oil and butter. Season it up. Good eating. Butter and cream. Okay, look for grass-fed when possible. Okay, you guys want to know best milk? How many of you guys drink milk that's not allergic to milk? Are you allergic to milk? Anybody here allergic to milk? You're not allergic to it? Why don't you like it? It's nasty? Okay.
It gives me mucus.
Gives you mucus?
Yeah, I always got a runny nose.
It tastes wild.
Yeah. All of you have probably drank or experienced with weaponized milk. Weaponized milk. Okay?
My kids couldn't drink it.
When you weaponize something, that means if you were to weaponize me, what would you do?
So it's like fortified with stuff in the...
No, not fortified.
Ammunition?
Exactly.
Arms?
Right.
Not
It's giving me...
these arms, but I mean
Right.
ammunition.
When you weaponize me, you're giving me things that I can use as a weapon, whether it be a knife, a side piece, a rifle, whatever, a blowtorch, I don't know, whatever it is, right? You weaponize me to do what? Harm or damage to something else. When you weaponize a food, you're putting things in or taking things out to do damage to that who's consuming it. The milk has been weaponized. That's why it tastes the way it tastes. You get the reaction, what you get, because milk in its purest form is one of the best foods you can eat and consume.
Like that buttermilk.
I'm talking about, come on now.
That condensed canned milk.
Come on, no, I'm talking about, come on, how many of y'all from the South?
I knew like churning and
Come on now, how many of y'all from the South?
it's like sour milk.
How many pictures have you seen,
From a cow.
have you seen
My daddy.
farmers in Africa? What's one of the things that the farmers are always watching, and why do they care about lions in Africa? To protect what? They're right. They're right. They're what? Cows. They drink milk. They don't just have them as pets. They drink the milk. Goat milk, cow's milk. This is real food, but it has been tainted with, it has been modified. Milk should not look like this. Milk should not look like this. Milk should look like almost a little lighter than eggnog.
Yeah.
Okay? A little lighter than eggnog. And when you get milk, when you get it, it separates. The cream was on the top, milk was on the bottom.
Like breast milk.
Yes, and then when you shake it, the cream mixes with the milk itself. The milk, the properties in milk, 100%. It has healing properties. It has, so many vitamins and nutrients in the milk. Okay? It's like liquid sunlight. Because we used to get a lot of sunlight at home, right? Africa, I'm talking about, not 52nd Street. At home. She's talking about, what? You mean on Broad, 3rd, Broad? No, at home, right? We used to get a lot of sunlight. But when we came to this dungeon over here, the sunlight shut off. But what do the cows feed from? Grass. How does the grass grow? From the sun. So when you have a healthy, humanely grown cow that feeds from the grass, fed from the sun, now what is in the cow from the grass is from the sun. Now the cow grown properly is now metabolizing that nutrient from the sun, and it comes out pure in the milk.
So is it safe to say that America's milk, cow's milk doesn't taste the same as Africa's?
Well, if it's grown properly, so the dairy industry here, their milk is weaponized. But you can find pure milk from a farm here in Philadelphia. As a matter of fact, if you go right up the road here to Weaver's Way, they have raw milk in Weaver's Way, right from the cow, right from the farm. And so that is, I'm just talking about dairy as far as this part here, things that you can, milk, this milk has sugar in it, but it's not like, it's not like processed sugar. It's just a natural sweetness from the milk. Okay, yes?
I just wanted to know if, when I was little, the milkman used to come around with the milk. I'm from New Orleans, and he brought me milk. I used to drink so much milk as a kid. Now, as an adult, I drink milk. I'm sick. I'm lactose intolerant, stomach messed up. Like, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Is that because the milk that came from the milkman came from the
Could have
farm?
been pure milk.
Pure.
It could have been pure milk. So now that they have gotten away from that, the milk that you're drinking now, it has been stripped of all of its nutrients. It has been stripped of the enzyme, lactase, that helps break down that sugar. So now you have these digestive issues, okay? And black people are not, 70% of black people are lactose intolerant. That's a lie, okay? And most white people are. That's a lie, all right? I know that's been something that's been told as to don't drink milk, black people are lactose, no, okay? They found the gene that makes in East Africa, okay, a large number of blacks have the gene to break down lactase in the gene. So it can't be that we're lactose intolerant by nature, okay? But milk is if you decide to drink milk, but if you're doing keto, you don't want to drink so much dairy. I just happened to bring that as a side note when I talked about butter and cream. But you can use some cream in your coffee if you drink coffee. Cheese is another thing. Cheddar, goat, cream, blue, or mozzarella. Nuts and seeds. More so seeds. Be careful with the nuts. Be very careful with the nuts. Just not for weight loss purposes, but just digestive issues. Nuts are very hard on the stomach. When you eat a lot of nuts, there's an enzyme or protein actually in nuts that you want to just be very careful of. It's called I can't think of it right now, but it'll come to me. But just do more seeds: flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds. Those are very, very good on salads. Very, very good. Healthy oils: extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil are 3 of the best. You can do ghee, it's clarified butter. That's a good one. Yeah, those are the 3 best. Avocados are great. How many of you guys like avocados?
I got sick.
Okay.
I do it so much. So I just buy the oil now.
Okay.
Avocado oil.
Yeah, you can make,
Coconut oil is good.
yeah, you can do guacamole. You can make a guacamole out of avocado. You can, you can put, make eggs and chop up some avocados, put it in your eggs, put it in a shake. A lot, just a little bit though. Don't put a lot because it'll make your shake like thick, and then you can't drink it. Okay, just a little bit. Low carb veggies, most green vegetables. Okay, most green vegetables that you can consume. Condiments, use salt, pepper, various herbs and spices. Okay, all right. So to sum it up with that, okay, the majority of your diet is foods such as meats, fish, eggs, butter, nuts, all the foods that they tell you not to eat. You want to. All right, so sample meal for a week. Okay, so what I do is I teach a combination of keto and what is called intermittent fasting. Okay, and so when you look at this schedule here, you see Monday through Saturday, and it gives you pretty much an idea of what to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and so on and so forth. Now, people who are doing keto, they will probably eat 3 meals a day, probably some snacks in between, okay? But I'm going to teach you, if you want to be taught and guided, I would teach you how to take this and another method, combine them together so that you have the power of both, okay? And that will actually really help you break through plateaus that you might be experiencing now, okay? So this is pretty, a pretty simple idea of things that you can eat. They don't always have to be something, as far as food, solid. They can be a shake that you can make into a keto shake. And there are different ideas that you can do. Okay? And so go ahead.
When you do the keto shake, what do you normally use as a base for it?
Something that is,
Like,
yeah.
Usually if you use fruit juices, but you don't want to do that.
Right.
And water wouldn't be flavorful enough, I would imagine.
Right.
So.
Well, there are already bases of keto shakes out there that you can purchase and get. So, some of them already have the core ingredients to make it keto. And most of them should have the macronutrient proportion of 70% fat, 25%, protein, and 5%